Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I'm fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are outside the republic. A few days ago on this channel, I opined that William Samoei Arap Ruto, the president of the Republic of Kenya, was facing one major political headache after the Jacaranda rally. And that headache was Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And I did a comprehensive analysis why Kalonzo Musyoka is actually the biggest political headache William Ruto is facing at the moment. Because during that Jacaranda rally, Raila Odinga kind of endorsed Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka as his preferred successor. But Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has received bad news from none other than his close ally, the governor for Makwiny, Mutula Kilonzo Jr. According to Mutula Kilonzo Jr., he's telling Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka that number one, he will not involve himself in Azimio rallies. You know, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is hoping that he can easily inherit Raila Odinga's support base. And for him to inherit Raila Odinga's support base, he must be able to play their brand of politics. Raila Odinga supporters love firebrand politics, the politics which Raila Odinga is currently playing. So Kalonzo Musyoka must fit into that brand of politics. And Kalonzo is trying to fit in so well, but Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is telling him that as the governor for Makwiny, I'll not be part of it. Again, he's telling him that he will work with William Samoei Arap Ruto to deliver development in Ukambani. One of the reasons why Kalonzo Musyoka insisted that Ukambani was going to be ruled by 3 Wiper governors was that he didn't want a situation where he would be on one side while the governors are on the other side. If you look at the last 2 elections, let me just take you 2013, what happened. In 2013, Ukambani elected Alfred Mutua as the governor for Machakos, Professor Malombe as the governor for Kitui, and Kivutha Kibwana, professor, as the governor for Makwiny. Now, these 3 governors, only Kivutha Kibwana was elected on his own party, Muungano Party. Malombe and Mutua were actually elected on Wiper. Then Mutua easily moved and started sleeping with government. So Kalonzo was left with only Malombe. So when it came to 2017, towards 2017, Professor Kivutha Kibwana decided to join Wiper. Then Mutua contested on his Maendeleo Chap. So when that election came, Ngilu came in on NAC. Alfred Mutua came in on another political party, Maendeleo Chap, I think. Then in Professor Kivutha Kibwana came under Wiper. But he was not really in Wiper. So Kalonzo did not have control over the governors in Ukambani. So when 2022 arrived, Kalonzo Musyoka insisted that for the first time he was going to control the 3 counties in Ukambani, and that those counties were going to be led by Wiper. So Malombe came back, Wiper. Wavinya Ndeti won, Wiper. Mutula Kilonzo Jr. also won on Wiper. And it was expected that being the 3 were very close allies of Mutula Kilonzo, they were definitely going to work very closely with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. But Mutula is telling him, we are going to work with Ruto. And the last thing is telling him that Ukambani cannot be always in opposition. Where does that place Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? Because I've been following Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka very closely, and I think Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is very strategic in his approach. He wants to inherit Raila Odinga's support base because he understands that Raila Odinga might actually leave for him to contest. And if Raila were to do that, then there's a feeling that William Ruto can actually win the support of Raila Odinga's supporters. So he's trying to align himself with that kind of politics. And the people who could help him are the same ones who are now telling him they're not going to go there. Kalonzo Musyoka has the Kamba vote. That's not in doubt. Anytime he can win Kamba votes, even if you sleep, Even if elections were to be held tomorrow, he can pick someone else, will easily win. Number two is a Christian, which means William Ruto will not be able to smear that kind of propaganda he did on Raila Odinga using the church. Number three, the Kikuyu voting bloc. When we talk of the Kikuyu voting bloc, it is very, very simple. Kikuyus have been made to believe that Raila Odinga is a bad man. So there are those who have bought that. Kalonzo Musyoka coming in means he can easily win good number of votes from the Kikuyus. And lastly, if you add Raila and Uhuru revenge mission on Ruto, then they'll do everything to ensure that Kalonzo gets the votes. And lastly, which is also very important, is the tribal dominance in this country. The Kikuyu Kalenjin presidency. There's the need to break it. So if the Luos cannot break it, Kalonzo can break it. So the other tribes can easily rally around Kalonzo Musyoka. But Mutula Kilonzo has now delivered this message. So in this video, I want us to look at why the message by Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is significant politically speaking. But before we do all those, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And I want to take this opportunity also to thank everyone who tuned in yesterday during our live show. You know, we started live shows, then we ended it because there were a lot of bitterness. Most of the people who were supporting Raila Odinga became very bitter with the outcome, and therefore they were expressing it on the channel. So I said, let's stop it a bit. But yesterday I can report that everything is now normal. So we will continue with it either twice a week or once a week, or when there's a political rally, whether Kenya Kwanza or Raila, occasionally I'll notify you so that we can proceed with it. I want to thank you sincerely, those who tuned in. Why is this statement by Mutula Kilonzo Jr. significant politically speaking? Number one, Kalonzo Musyoka is actually keen on inheriting Raila Odinga support base for his 2027 presidential bid. The fact and the truth of the matter is that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is going to be on the ballot in 2027, whether Raila Odinga will be running or not. And he's hoping, his prayer is that Raila Odinga will not be on the ballot, and therefore Raila Odinga will lend his support to him. And because he's keen on inheriting the Raila Odinga support base, the signal which Mutula Kilonzo Jr., a person perceived to be his close ally, those messages are not sitting well with most of Raila Odinga supporters. Because, for example, if today someone like, let's say, Junet Mohamed is opposed to Raila Odinga Rallies, I mean, what signal do you think it will be sending? Because Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is actually one of the closest allies of Kalonzo Musyoka. Now he's telling him he's not going to involve himself. What message is he trying to send? Most people who understands politics might think that he's in Azimio as Kalonzo, while in his brigades is asking them to go and work with Ruto. It's not bad to work with Ruto. Raila Odinga, as the leader of Azimio, has made it very clear that the governors can work with Ruto. But remember, Ruto was in Homa Bay, he was in Siaya. The message was very clear from both Siaya and Homa Bay that you are the president and we are going to work together with you. But for us, we are in Azimio. Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is not making that very clear. He's just telling Kalonzo, we are tired with opposition. We are going to work with Ruto. We are not going to involve ourselves in those mandamano. So let us wait and see. But the fact is, it's affecting Kalonzo Musyoka's strategy of appealing to Raila Odinga support base. Number two, Mutula Kilonzo Jr. is the vice chairperson of Wiper. Apart from that, he's a very close associate of Kalonzo Musyoka. What does that tell you? Perceptional politics. Politics is a perceptional game, just the way people perceive it. So if you can ask yourself, if the Wiper vice chairman, who is a close associate of Kalonzo, is not joining these demonstrations the way he's the way he's saying, because they're not demonstrations really, they are rallies. If the vice chairman, a close ally of Kalonzo, is not joining, what does that tell you? So the the perceptual value of Kalonzo then comes down, because people would ask him, why can't you convince the Ukambani governors to join you? What's wrong? Wako wapi? Wewe unatuchezea. So I think he will need to figure out how he's going to deal with that, because Kenyans will be asking those questions soon. Number 3, it also has a big impact on Kalonzo's ability to mobilize. You know, it's normally easy and possible to organize or to mobilize politics under governors. That's why nowadays, if you are keen, William Ruto is doing what Raila used to do. Raila's politics from 2013 and 2017 was revolving around the governors. For example, if he was going to Busia, he would look for Ojamong, and through Ojamong, he will be able to organize his meetings. If he was going to, for example, to a place like Mombasa, Joho would be in charge. Kalonzo Musyoka would have had easy time, for example, mobilizing Ukambani, if all the 3 governors were with him. For example, let's say he's going to Makwiny, and the governor is telling him, for him, it's not about that. So which means even mobilizing people there, he cannot use governor structure, because governors have structures which Raila Odinga used to use effectively. He will not have that. Governors, again, have resources. Again, you know, governors, they can allocate tents and the rest, then they'll ask the accountant to deal with it. They'll know how they'll do it for audit queries. So it will have a big impact on his ability to use governance structures, which are always organized. And lastly, Ruto is definitely going to use these Ukambani governors, the 3 of them, to penetrate Ukambani. And because, let's just take, for example, in Kitui, where Kalonzo comes from, Ruto goes there, the governor welcomes him. At the same time, Kalonzo is in Mombasa, for example, on a political rally. And, you know, being a presidential function, they'll be hitting Kalonzo and you'll do nothing. So in my view, I tend to think that Kalonzo Musyoka must come with a strategy of dealing with Ukambani. And it has to be early, because these governors are going to give him serious problems. I don't know what to think. That's my take. And by the way, by the time of doing this video, President Uhuru Kenyatta just stepped out and went to Magoha's home. And for me, that's significant, and I'll do another analysis on that shortly. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.